White Grail Holy Grail, a W Corporation-backed fixture office, consisting of various fixers, such as Oberon, Vex, Bruce, Kodiak, and Octavia. They have a stellar reputation and an impeccable track record for completing their missions. You get what you pay for with them, unless you're trying to conduct a hostage rescue mission, in which case you can kiss those hostages goodbye, because they, alongside the terrorists, told them will be dead by the end of the operation. White Grail has a bad reputation when it comes to keeping targets alive, since they don't understand the concept of a measured response. Any response from them is absolute overkill. It's not known why they're so violent and prone to these actions, but it has made a blemish on them that has only grown throughout the years, despite the best efforts of the W Corporation to assure clients that these guys will not mess up an op. We will focus on Agent Oberon, a fixer that reached the lofty ranks of a legend, but would have a dark and grim reputation for being extremely violent, with his favorite method of dispatching opponents being disembowelment. He was not a nice fella to deal with. Oberon could be distinguished from his peers by his stag-like helmet, and his weapon of choice, a boar-hunting longsword, an archaic tool from Europa, used by nobles to train their young ones in the art of not just boar hunting, but also teaching them how deeply they have to penetrate through the flesh and muscle of a creature to kill them, to pierce the heart. Perhaps a lesson that Oberon should have taken to heart himself, but one that he did not heed. His reputation would only grow more dark and grim with the revelation that he was behind a series of brutal killings in which the victims had their temporal lobes scrambled, messed with, and experimented on. Oberon was attempting to find out the best way of making someone forget by erasing their memories, their concept of time, and such core essentials as the concept of oneself in the abstract as well. His actions were horrendous, instantly deemed a vulture by the core, the conspiracy of ravens, the main fixer association in Alantropa. A massive manhunt was conducted. Oberon would be caught trying to flee into the gulch, deep beneath the floating city of Alantropa. Victor Epsilon, and a retired Varangian agent that now proudly serves as North Point's chief. They would manage to track him down. They would question him as to why he endeavored on such a mad quest. Oberon would claim that he glimpsed into something that he was not meant to see, a refraction, an experiment that his corporation, the W Corporation, was working on deep beneath Alantropa, within the gulch. They would collect beta element residues, beta element being created by the Daemon core as waste. They would be able to peer into the true fabric of reality. He claimed that through this refraction he realized that he was nothing more than a clone, a puppet, a homunculus that could easily be replaced by the corporation at any second. He knew that once the corporation knew of his knowledge of this, he would be targeted for execution and termination. This was not something that he could stand for. Thus, he began his quest. Perhaps if he was able to erase his mind, erase any trace of that knowledge, he could continue on living. Naturally, he went about it in the most dark and twisted way imaginable. Victor didn't have any pity for him, simply shot him right between the eyes. Another scumbag dead, another issue solved, and with that, the story of Oberon came to an end. Until W Corporation unveiled the latest Oberon. Apparently, this fellow was a better Oberon. Someone took up the mantle, wanted to bring back some prestige to the name of the White Grail organization. The thought lingered in the mind of Victor. Was this really a different person? Or was this merely another homunculus, another clone, as Oberon claimed?